he picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.
Hey guys,
and we're
welcome. Yo, we're back.
back.
Welcome to the think tank. Jazzy's like, she knows already that I'm on. She's over there, Mom. I am like overheating tonight. So a little bit of everything, eh, Mekci?
Yep. Yep.
It's been a crazy day. I couldn't believe it.
What was that other thing you had pulled up? Was like a shooting at a fire department, at a firehouse?
Oh yeah, there was that too. Yeah, there was. Let's see here. 2 Birmingham firefighters shot in potentially targeted attack. Suspect is at large.
Another one on the run?
Another one on the run.
Where did this happen? Was it?
This is, let me see here. Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's just see.
Did COVID do something to like people's brains?
Right? Oh, there's to get those conspiracies going, right?
I know my parents will always say that this has always been a thing. Mm-hmm. This kind of stuff has always happened. And maybe social media just vamps it up, because it's easier to see, it's more available. I think like there's been like a huge influx, of just crazy.
I think right now it's probably a little bit of both, because it's always been bad. It has always been bad. But we're getting a lot more things than people realize, because a lot of this stuff doesn't even make it to the news. It amazes me how much does not make any kind of headway.
Yeah.
Like school shootings and cops that are involved in shootings. Hey, Jai. I was going to say Jai.
JJ. Welcome back, JJ.
And we're back. What do you think, James? Have things gotten worse out there, or is it that we're hearing more, or do you think maybe both a little bit? Hey, you two. I do. I think we're aware of a lot more. Like, we didn't hear what was happening in all of these different countries. That was something we didn't have. Stop. That's something we didn't have. Yeah, a bit of both. There's more weapons out there now. There's more creativity as making weapons and what have you now. Stop, Jazz. They're trying to boss me around. But yeah, we hear about it more than we ever did. So yeah, a little bit of both. Cities are getting bigger. right now, things are not going that great financially for a lot of countries. So,
Right.
you be good. Yeah. So, as far as that goes, this is the first time in my life that I've seen or heard anything about tent cities and that type of thing. I can never. Yeah, I shouldn't. I shouldn't, James. um, yeah, there's.
Ooh, rumbling.
Oh, are you getting the storm?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. We've been getting them at night too. It was last night around, I don't know what time it was. I was sleeping. There was one of those crack booms. Like
Mm-hmm.
your whole, yeah. Have you ever been around somebody that's been hit by lightning or a building that's been hit by lightning?
I can't say that I have, but I feel like I've been pretty like in the vicinity of one
Mm-hmm.
that was like maybe not in my backyard, but damn near close.
Close, because you
Yeah.
can tell because it's all of a sudden
Yes.
your sky gets completely bright, and
Yes.
then there's immediately like this. My neighbor's house got hit one time,
Oh.
and it was like it hit the antenna. So everything that was plugged in was like toast.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, it was almost like the entire sky lit up, and then right away, like there was like a extremely loud
I used
sound.
to love watching those Texas. Like at home we had like this covered carport.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of deep, so we would like sometimes put chairs there while it was raining.
Nice.
And when it pours in Texas, that's probably it's one of the best things I think you could ever see. And then you can hear the
Yeah, hey.
thunder and see it for miles. It's cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, never stand under a tree. We were at an outside concert. I was in my early 20s, and there's, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 of us. And we all agreed we are going to meet up at this bar in the city. And we get to this bar, and we're missing this one guy. And everyone's, well, have you seen such and such? It's like, no, he was right behind us. Well, the night continued. He didn't show up, so we just assumed he decided to go home. Well, here he had been. Actually, what it didn't hit him, but it hit the ground right beside him. And everybody that was right around there, they all got knocked down and had to go to the hospital. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, yeah. But where I'm from, it's open skies. When I was growing up, big prairies and beautiful storms. There's nothing like
Mhm.
storms in the prairies. So, what do you think? Should we take a peek at this guy?
Yeah, I want to know what's going
Yes, it
on.
does. It does jump. Yeah, let's see. I'll go over here.
a.m. we had a shooting at fire station number 9 located at
I think I'll refresh it. Okay.
There's got to be another way that makes sense for you and your money.
They don't want me to go without a commercial, I guess. So they are in serious condition, both of them, and they are saying that this was
approximately 8:30 a.m. we had a shooting at fire station number 9 located at 1228 27th Street North in Birmingham. 2 firefighters were seriously injured as a result of that shooting. They've been transported to a local hospital for treatment. We are on scene trying to work to see who are the individuals who are responsible for this particular shooting.
wow.
That's something that we're working through right now, trying to just determine who those individuals are and what is the motivation for this particular shooting, which is information we just don't have at this point in time. So At this point in time, we feel like it may be a targeted attack. We don't know why it would be a targeted attack, but that's one of the things that we're trying to determine at this point in time. It's extremely unusual for someone to come target one of our fire stations. And so we're trying to see why would someone want to target one of those fire stations in Birmingham.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Have you all heard about my $5 sandwich of the day?
No, I have
Apparently,
not.
this deal is ruffling some feathers. Heck, I'd be mad too.
Is that me?
But you won't be.
Where is that? What the hell? Oh my God, really? I couldn't find it. I was like, what? So they were both hospitalized in serious condition after the incident, which took place about 8:30 a.m. earlier today. The suspect and motive are unknown, police said, adding that it's extremely unusual for someone to come target one of our fire stations. About
Unusual.
Yeah, like who does that? They're the good guys. They don't cause trouble unless it's something personal.
Yeah, I wonder if this was like a guy, like maybe a recruit. You know, what are those guys called? Like the trainees that didn't make the cut, you know?
It could be, but usually, I don't know, maybe it's different in the US, but out here, a lot of it is volunteers. So all three firefighters were at the station at the time, authorities said. Oh, that's it. 2 firefighters. Yeah, like who walks into a place like that and
I don't know.
decides to raise chaos?
How
Like
did he
what?
get away so, like, nobody knows, nobody saw him, which way he went?
Not that it's come out
Like,
yet.
yeah.
Hello, Dave. Yeah, and we do love having you. Yeah, $5 for a sandwich, half under
Rough the old
Oh, you're back. So yeah, there was that, I guess. Like, what the hell? The other thing that was kind of interesting today is that Leslie Van Houten has been let out. Her parole was denied 5 times.
Yeah, I
50
think was like her lawyer finally like wrote something to another judge and like they finally just overturned all those
Okay.
so she could finally be released.
And after an appeals court upheld her grant of parole. She's seen here speaking to the Board of Prison Terms Commissioner in 2002. There she looks very much like she did when she was young. So Leslie Van Houten, whose devotion to Charles Manson resulted in her participating in the brutal unalivings of married couple inside their Los Angeles home back in 1969. So she is free after spending 53 years in custody. She's in her 70s. She left the California Institution for Women in Corona on Tuesday, less than a week after Governor Gavin Newsom said he would not fight a state's appeal court's ruling that said former Manson family members should be granted parole. So she was released on parole July 11th, 2023, was picked up by a Division of Adult Parole Operations Team, William Newborg, Public Information Officer at the California Institution for Women. She was freed after she was denied parole more than 20 times.
Jeez.
Yeah. She was 19 when the crimes were committed. Leslie is very pleased that her hard work in reforming herself in prison over the past 5 decades has been recognized by the parole board and appellate court. Van Houten's attorney, Nancy, Tetrol? It's French, I'm not sure. So she said that her client is working to adjust to the idea of life outside of prison after decades of social, cultural, and technological changes have passed her by. She'll spend the next year in a transitional living facility.
Oh, man. She's gonna be like, what was that old man's name in Shawshank Redemption? That's what she's gonna be like. He was so cute. You know what I'm talking about? No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just like
No.
Charlie don't surf. So I'm sorry. Can you ask me
He
that again?
was too. He was hanging with the Beach Boys.
Literally, yeah, with one of them.
No. The old guy, from the library. He spent his whole life in prison, and when he finally got out, Brooksy. Yeah, Brooksy.
I don't know that I'm familiar with that.
Well, when he finally got out, like, he was so cute. He was walking down the street and he was like amazed by the cars that were like flying by him. That's how she's going to be. The world's changed since she went to prison.
Absolutely. Can you imagine trying to like acclimate yourself 50 years later to this earth? Literally, the crap that happens right now is going to be
institutionalized. Yeah.
Oh, she's definitely institutionalized. Absolutely. But when she comes out, like, it's going to be like she has just come out to the Jetsons or something like that.
It's a whole new world.
It is.
New world. Hope you're ready. I hope you're ready, Leslie.
Yeah. I mean, if they can let frickin' Carla Homolka out, I think Leslie Van Houten after all these years. What harm is she going to do now? And she has really, really tried to do better, and I don't know how those guys.
Isn't she remarried or something?
Did she get married in prison? I'm not sure.
Oh,
is that right? Just created to throw a little bit of
is that from the 3 boys, right, that killed, that unalived the little boy in the woods? Was that where that was from? The Helter Skelter? They said that there was like doing demonic things, and
Helter Skelter had something to do in Charlie Manson's mind as like race wars type thing. Yeah, he just kind of came up with his own. 1969. She should join Scientology. Definitely not a cult. No,
it's definitely a cult.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, but
do you think that would be breaking probation or parole? Like, one of her mandates on parole is do not join any cults groups.
Right? I wonder what they will have. Like, I wonder what she will stay away from: weapons, bad people, that type of thing.
Maybe. No cults, no Scientology, no families. You can't.
No families.
Parole. Breaking parole.
She's like, can you imagine 5 decades locked up in the Hooskow like that? Like I say, I just can't imagine. She's going to be institutionalized. She just has so much to learn. So it's good that she is spending time. A year is a good amount of time to get kind of the idea of what's going on. Yeah, none of those either, James. Hell no. So if I remember, actually, let's look. but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So she was convicted of the unalivings of Rosemary Bianca and her husband. They were supermarket executive. Did they call him Leno or Lino? La Bianca. There we go. La Bianca. My tongue was doing what it wanted to again. So Manson had convinced his followers that such things were necessary to spark an impending civilization ending, a worldwide race war between blacks and whites. Here we go. As court documents note, in August of 1969, Manson began orchestrating shockingly gruesome unalivings. In years of testimony and interviews, Van Houten told authorities that after being taken to the LaBianca's residence, that Rosemary LaBianca, down as other Manson followers, Patricia Krenwinkel, Charles Tex Watson, were the ones that had actually unalived her. Van Houten then attacked the woman more than a dozen times.
Is that who you were talking about, James? Charles Tex Watson?
Tex Watson. He was actually not a bad-looking guy, but psycho as all get out. He looked a lot better than... the Hollywood hairdresser was with Sharon Tate, right? No. Yes. That's the thing. He got everybody else to do his dirty work,
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the previous live. I was like, he didn't even really do anything. I mean, he did do stuff, but he didn't do anything. Like,
not along
these lines.
And Tex Watson enjoyed that job.
My goodness.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Like a Sicario or something, maybe. Is that what he was? Tex Watson? Was he like a Sicario?
No.
Like a hitman kind of guy?
No, he was just a crazy ass dude.
Well, that's kind of like the kind of guy you want to be a hitman, because you just hey, go do this, and then
No, anybody around him was kind of in danger. So he was in charge the night that he went to Sharon Tate's house. He was actually when they went to Bianca's house as well, La Bianca's. He was in charge, but I don't think he ever was like a hitman for them.
He was just a crazy guy, but I'm just saying, like,
he was a crazy guy.
He would be an ideal hitman for like a mob.
Oh yeah, he would have been the ideal. Well, if he wasn't crazy, the mafia was. You had to be a pretty level thinker to survive that lifestyle.
Well, I'm talking about like the Mexican cartel mafia kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
You can be as crazy as you want to be.
Exactly. They're spooky.
Yeah, they are. Did I tell you that like it was actually quite a while ago, years ago, a bunch of students went missing from a school.
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, because I didn't see it reported anywhere, I actually saw it on the Canadian news. They reported it. One of the head guy of the kidnapping unit was arrested for their kidnapping and unaliving. It was like 1430. Yeah. And this has been years. They finally arrested someone for it.
Oh my word.
And it was one of the freaking guy that was supposed to be looking for them.
Isn't it amazing how often that kind of thing actually happens?
It blows my mind. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, it's quite genius, right? What better disguise than just to be in it, right? Like like evil people are everywhere and they can have any position. Like how many recent doctors now have been, charged with
all sorts of stuff,
assaulting patients
recently,
like you know,
Yeah.
cops being crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that sort of thing is where it would come in, where we hear about it more now. Just, I think, due to the different media options people have.
I just think we have a people
Yeah.
problem, you know, like people have like no respect. I mean, you don't have to like someone, but you also don't have to be evil or mean to anyone. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say
No.
it. And just have
Yeah.
some sort of respect. Treat people like you want to be treated.
Exactly.
And I just think a lot of people these days are missing just that simple morality, you know.
Oh, I have to agree. Yeah. I hope that door's open for them. Yes. Whew. Yeah. Exactly, Mekci. So let's see here. So the La Bianca deaths took place shortly after Manson's cult members attacked Sharon Tate, along with Abigail Folger, Wojciech I can't say them. Jay is he was the hairdresser. Wojciech, he was the date of Abigail Folger's that night.
Frykowski.
And then Stephen Parent, he was also at Sharon Tate's house, but he lived on, here's a Squeedo. He lived on kind of like the guest house. He kind of worked around the property, and sadly, he was the first one attacked. So she was arrested in November of 69 after years of court proceedings and reversals. She was sentenced to 7 years to life. 7 years. And was convicted on 2 counts of first degree and 1 count of conspiracy. So that's her here. Look how young.
Look how happy they look walking into jail. I just saw a flash out of the corner of my eye. There's gonna be a big boom. Oh my god.
Here it is.
I ducked. I hyped myself up for that one, I think. Like, terrible.
So these are the women that were charged. 3 of his followers from left, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten, laughed as they walked to court in Los Angeles for their sentencing on March 29th, 1971.
Under the table. I almost did. I threw my hands over my head. I was like, oh my god.
So the families are just not so happy about this.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. At first, it was capital punishment, and then it was that capital punishment was unconstitutional, and all of them should have been executed way back in 71, says family prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi.
So how do you feel about that? Like people who are sent like that, they're just like, hey, you get sentenced, right? Let's say they got sentenced for like capital murder, right? And then a couple years later, the law is overturned, right? So do you think it's fair that their sentence should get overturned, or should it be like from then on out?
Oh, that's hard, right? I don't know. I think it depends what it is. You know, if we're talking about marijuana, I think everybody that got arrested for their gram of Mary Jane should be let out of prison. But people that I just don't know. I don't know how to call that. I think this woman, after 50 some years, and the fact that they're just saying here that she earned 2 degrees, she's not a threat to society. She also earned a bachelor's and a master's degree,
What is she
and
gonna do with those?
completed. Hmm?
What is she gonna do with those?
Probably nothing at this age.
With her record though. Like, I mean,
Do you know what though? It just
is
looks
it
really
possible?
good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it just looks really good. And for somebody who's got a sharp mind, I think they do it for themselves so
Yeah,
they
to
don't
keep
get
saying,
lost in the,
to keep
yeah,
saying.
yeah. So she says that she had a good disciplinary record, completed vocational training, preparing for a possible return to society. So yeah, I don't think that she would have ever have been able to use them, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So it says, and according to her own accounting, she became a heavy user of LSD and other things at the age of 14 after her parents divorced. She was pregnant at 17, and her mother coerced her into getting an illegal and unmedicated.
Wow.
Oh my God. I was in my bedroom. Some woman came up from Mexico. According to court documents, she just told me to be quiet and not wake my brother or sister. Charles Manson died in 2017, age 83. Van Houten's fellow attackers in the LeBlancas, Krenwinkel, and Watson remain in prison. Krenwinkel was approved for parole last year, but Newsom reversed it in the same report that indicated his decision against
Right.
Van Houten. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be one hell of a debate, you know.
Mm. I mean, I hope she does good with whatever she has left of her life.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if the system says that she's good to go, then I guess we should just trust that they're right, I suppose. I feel bad for the families that
I
you know
do
did
too.
that. But
I do too. I think that Sharon Tate's sister is still alive, if I remember correctly. Or you play the long game to get out. I think she's wired up wrong. Right?
Right. Who trusts the system with big old peepers? I don't know.
Right?
I mean, we're supposed to have faith in the justice system, but I know it doesn't always work. Like
Okay.
more than a lot.
It's a mosquito.
Doesn't
Oh,
work.
goodness. Yeah. I think at her age, I think she's probably fairly harmless.
Fairly. I mean, look
You
at that
know?
guy that got released after he slaughtered that person in a bus in Canada.
But he didn't go to jail.
No. That's
He
insane.
went to an institution. And here in Canada, I mean, I imagine there would be different things for probably different cases. But yeah, he did that and has been out for quite some time. They acclimated him to public, didn't let anybody know that he was doing it, and then quietly let
I
him out.
know. I mean, but that right there is kind of worrisome because I think he had gone to the hospital. How long was he there before they started giving him these like day trips?
You know what? I'm not sure. Ed Kemper, didn't he? Well said. Yeah, well said. So I think what I'm going to do is for the members only video this month, I'm going to do Eileen Warnos. I will show it to the members only, and then I'm going to go over and put it on my other channel that has got the older true crime and what have you. But to anybody that is a member on the channel, that's what I will be putting out.
Eileen Warnos. We should have a
Yeah.
movie night. No, never mind. I've never seen that movie. I don't want to actually.
You have not seen that?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's not
Coolio.
it's not my cup of tea, you know.
Yeah.
So, I will watch Identity though. That's a good one.
Identity.
Yeah. It's got John Cusack in it. Multiple personalities.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to put this out really quick one more time because it was on the last live, but not this one. So this is Manny, who was found in a
Minnesota.
storage unit. Yeah,
Mhm.
in a storage unit in Minnesota. And it's sounding very much like the boyfriend has done this. April 21st was the first day of the worst 2.5 months this family could be put through. I want to raise money to help Manny's family with whatever they may need. Funeral expenses are expensive, and I wish I could help make it easier on them. I also think this could help raise the kids up. Her beautiful 3 kids have horrifically lost the most important, beautiful woman in their lives. I don't have many ways to help them myself, so my hopes are we are able to help them this way. Ricky Starin, this is Manny's mom, will be the beneficiary to these funds. She has become family to us, and we have gone through this battle to find her daughter.
Hi, Shauna. Yes,
So-
and Manny is one is part of the Joseph Jorgeson.
Yes.
He
a
has been
victim of-
arrested. Yes, and
absolutely.
she's been missing for 2 months. Was missing for 2 months. They finally did find her, and if anyone would like to donate to her GoFundMe,
It's right there, you betcha. Yeah. It's under Manny's family. GoFundMe. Well, hello, Shauna. Good to see you. Fancy meeting you here. So, okay. We were talking about these earlier as well.
yes, a lot of
Yeah. An unalive suspect with survivalist skills escapes Pennsylvania jail following previous multi-state manhunt. So let's see what we got here. Come back here.
More united than ever before. And it's also united when it comes to support for Ukraine. I think what you're going to see happen
What?
is
NATO.
a clear demonstration of the
Okay.
There's the guy, Michael
Absolutely.
Charles.
Inmates suspected of several crimes, including the unaliving of New York woman, escaped from a Pennsylvania jail using tied together bed sheets, triggering a massive multi-agency manhunt and warnings from officials that he is very dangerous and should not be approached. Michael Charles Burham, 34, was discovered missing from the recreation area of the Warren County Jail early Friday morning. He elevated himself onto a piece of exercise equipment and then left the yard through a metal gated roof, said Cecile Stelter, a spokesperson for the Warren County. At Friday afternoon news conference, he then used at a Saturday afternoon news conference, period. He then used bed sheets that he tied together to climb down to the ground. Staff realized Burham was missing minutes after his escape. Stelter said, noting that he was under video surveillance while he was in the recreation area. Unreal. He's considered dangerous by his past actions, she said, and the public is asked not to approach him. But if they see him, call 911. So there's that cheerful looking piece of work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What? I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Okay. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens at the Pennsylvania State Police told reporters Sunday it is entirely likely that Burham is armed and told people not to approach him if they see him. Authorities in Warren said Saturday that Burham's whereabouts are unknown and the search is expanded beyond the city. Stelter said Burham has survivalist skills and is comfortable living in wooded areas. Just lovely.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Yeah, that's all they need is a survivalist getting out. So Bivens said Sunday that investigators found stockpiles of supplies on campsites that they believed belonged to Burham, though declined to elaborate on what they found or where they found it. So yeah, I wonder if he had help. Almost sounding
Send
like
in
it.
Tommy Lee Jones, indeed. Absolutely.
I'm coming over. No, that's awesome. Thanks for stopping by, Shauna. Have a good sleep.
Night, Shauna.
Night. So yeah. So it said it's possible that he has now changed clothes, adding that police believe he previously prepared to conceal himself in the woods. Over 10 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies are assisting in the manhunt. U.S. Marshals are offering $7,500 reward for information leading to Burham's capture, and Warren County Crime Stoppers are offering $2,000.
Okay, so get this. I heard that.
Mhm.
So this guy, this isn't the first time that he's been on the run. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's accused of unaliving his girlfriend in New York.
Mhm.
Then he took her car and set it on fire and then quickly disappeared. And then somewhere, I believe in South Carolina, I believe it was, he was found. Somebody caught him like outside of their property and like called it in. And there was a tip for that, like a reward, and they haven't even paid them for that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if
God.
it's because he got away again, but that's not fair.
No,
Yeah, but they haven't paid those people for it. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. What? Like, come on. Oh my God. It blows me away.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
know.
shouldn't be surprised ever anymore what humans are willing to do. And yet, here I am.
Yep.
Right? So we're just going to touch on this briefly, very briefly. So photos of unalive boy Gannon Stouch sold by a YouTuber. So I don't want to get into this a whole lot. I just want to, this guy, Brian Enton's usually got the best way of saying anything. So let's see what he has to say.
Yes.
Request them, to pay the money, to get them from the government, and not only post them, but then to charge people to see them. I mean, I just find it sick. And I question, has Zav Girl ever even been in a courtroom or interviewed a grieving family? That's my issue with some of these YouTubers that cause problems. They hide behind their computers. They don't even use their real names. Like in this case, we don't even know who.
Okay, I'm just going to say this real fast. There is a reason that YouTubers don't use their names. So I just will put that out there because a lot of times it's not safe for people to do so.
Right.
So on that particular point, I just want to say that the people that are out there, there's a good reason.
Who Zav Girl really is.
What? Okay, well, that was fast. So yeah, basically, not very
Yeah.
impressed.
Fits, table fits, studio chill vibes, late nights fits, compact speaker just.
There we go. So that's Brian Enton's take on what happened with these. It sounds like a YouTuber got a hold of autopsy photos of Gannon and chose to put him. Jazzy
Jasmine's
chose
upset
to.
about it too.
Jasmine.
She's
Oh
upset.
my word, she is not happy about this. So this stuff goes on and it's not okay. I suppose something has to be done about it. I'm just going to mute out if she doesn't stop. This, because there is really no reason for the average YouTuber to even have access to some of this. This was a child. So I do think that other places that have maybe sent this kind of stuff out and laws that allow it maybe need some work, because there are certain people that will take advantage of that. And I don't know this YouTuber, so I can't really talk about her. But we do know that Gannon was a sharp 18 times with a sharp-edged item. He was shot. He had skull fractures. And he was tortured. And then he was put in a suitcase and dumped. So someone decided that it was a really good idea. This case is over, so I don't even see what the purpose it's of bringing this to light at this point. But it's gotten out, and I think this particular YouTuber was charging $3. I think there's paywalls behind most Patreon. I don't know how that works, but yeah, there was no reason for that to be anywhere in the public. And the sad thing is it gets onto that black web in no time.
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's done.
I mean, hopefully this will change some laws everywhere, because this is a child. He is a minor. And I mean, maybe just across the board for everyone, because I just don't think that anyone deserves or should need to see that.
No, I don't. No.
And one of the things I think the prosecutor spoke on this, who prosecuted Letitia, said, you know, there's diagrams, there's charts that, you know, pointed to where the injuries were. You know, that's, if you were talking about you wanted to do it for scientific reasons in a detached way, I just don't see how that's possible, like, honestly. But if you were really just wanted to do it for scientific reasons, the diagrams and charts would have been enough.
That would have been more than enough.
No point.
More than enough. I don't want to see that stuff. And I heard the number of, I don't know if it's accurate, but someone said it was about $400 to get that file.
Yeah, I kind of heard that too.
She put on, yeah.
Right, yeah. You're right, James, but...
Yeah, so she said that she was not selling the individual photos of Gannon, but uploaded a full video only accessible by her Patreon followers. It focused on the photos as well as audio and the trial. Patreon allows people to subscribe to individuals for a monthly fee to view content a creator may not necessarily be able to post on a public YouTube page. So she said, I understand some of you have issues with me charging money on my Patreon for the video. If I was charging money for the files alone or something like that, I think I'd see your point. But as far as I know, it's still there. Well, no, that's not true. I think Patreon closed that up. So I must have been looking at information that was before that, because
just, I mean, the thing is too that showing that if you were around people who actually had some respect and were like-minded and whatnot, and you knew that they weren't gonna be sitting there making jokes, I would almost be like, okay, fine, like you have that.
Oh yeah, there was.
But the comments of her when she was showing these, she was zooming in,
Yes,
allegedly zooming in, and being like, oh my god, what is that? Like,
yeah,
what is that thing? What's that string?
Yeah. And zooming in,
And that's
on
when it gets
critters.
That's when it gets rude, and like,
and some of the remarks that were
being said in chat
was disgusting.
Yeah,
just disgusting. So
they were making jokes. They were literally making jokes.
Yeah, you cannot limit free speech.
No, you can't.
But I think, see, YouTube, you would never get away with something like that. Your channel would be gone in no time. So I understand why that was put over on Patreon, but Patreon actually shut that account down for using those pictures as well. So yeah,
I don't know. I didn't keep up. I've only seen a couple of things, and then Brian Enton picked it up, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not
It's
something
like,
I
oh
want to
my
be
goodness.
on the news for.
So, I mean, what they're saying is she was making money off that little boy's photos, and they're photos of severely beaten child, and literally had no place on the internet, and I agree with the free speech thing and all. And I mean, I just don't know about the graphic photos. I mean, she can, you know what I mean? And I don't know, YouTube isn't really, I mean, look at how many different ways I have to try and say a word so they don't cut commercials off. Like YouTube would have shut that down, boom. But I think she's still on. She's got something like 90,000 subs.
Yeah. She did. I do believe she deleted a couple of videos, but
did she?
I think, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, YouTube themselves may have gotten a hold of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Brian Enton talked to Michael Allen, who said that the family of Gannon is aware of the controversy, and added that he had advised the family on how to combat this incident, but said there is nothing they can do to get the images taken off the internet. It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. There is nothing about what this YouTuber is doing, and I think there is another one out there as well that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon. So that's that.
I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, I could see if you were surrounded by a respectful community, but
yeah,
that's just not the case.
Yeah, and sickos.
Obscene publications in the UK. We need something like that. Do we have something like that?
Free speech?
Obscene publication. What it would be like sharing like nude photos,
Or, I mean, what would happen if people were on the internet? Like, just say, I mean, I'm going to use me, would never happen in a million years, but I'll just, what happens, Say I found all sorts of disgusting pictures of unalived kids and started just like sharing them around. Is that doesn't
That's
seem okay to
weird.
me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But is it not illegal? Like, can you?
I don't really know, because I mean, through all of my time, I've done a lot like researching things and looked up stuff, and I've come across some things and I'm like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
I can't believe that's even here, but it is somehow.
Like,
I
I'm
don't-
thinking that it would be like James is saying, obscene publications, or is it
Yeah.
just
That's what I was
like
thinking too,
sharing
like
an
sharing nudes,
ex-partner?
like sharing nudes.
Yes.
You share a nude with your boyfriend, and then your boyfriend shares it with like the whole school, and
Yeah.
you're a minor, like, or
Yes. Yes.
well,
Exactly.
here in America, we like to sell sex tapes.
X tapes. Go wash your mouth out with soap.
I mean, that's how the Kardashians became famous.
It is. Didn't hurt Paris Hilton either, did it?
Exactly.
So right now there's 2 maniacs on the loose, by the sounds of things. One that shot up a fire department. Yeah, and another who just decided to escape out of the wreck area. Okay, so Brian Kohberger.
What's going on with this? Is this new?
This is new. This is today. So comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Ladau County prosecuting attorneys and submits the following supplemental response to the second motion. I want to look at the other one first. Or do I? Maybe it doesn't. Okay. I don't think it really matters which one was first. July 12th, 23. States supplemental response to defendant's second supplemental request for discovery and defendant's motion to compel discovery. Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Ladau County prosecuting attorney and submits the following supplemental response to the defendant's second supplemental request for discovery filed March 23rd, 2023. The defendant's motion to compel discovery filed on May 4th, 2023, and in compliance with the court's order on the defendant's motion to compel discovery, ordered June 30th, 2023. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following supplemental specific responses to item 160, defendant's second supplemental request for discovery, and item 6, motion to compel discovery. So these records are limited to formal post-documented trainings, records of briefings, informal trainings, and or conversations are not documented in writing. So this is giving basically just saying that they can get those records from the cops, I do believe. So I hereby certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing state supplemental response to defendant's second supplemental request for discovery and motion to compel discovery was delivered to the following. And Ann Taylor. Email. I'm going to start drinking like alcohol. So that is the first one. I think that's what that had to. Okay, have a great night, James. Thanks for being here, friend. We'll
Yeah.
see you next time. We're just finishing up.
It's about time he goes to work, probably.
So this is the state supplemental response to defendant's second motion to compel. Comes now the state of Idaho. So this is basically the same, but submits the following supplemental response to the defendant's second motion to compel discovery, filed by the defendant on June 15th, 2023, and in compliance with the court's order on defendant's second motion to compel discovery, ordered June 29th to June 27th. The state respectfully submits the following specific supplemental responses to Request 1, investigative reports and conclusions from all cell phone analysis, including but not limited to any analysis conducted by police agencies, FBI CAS, team, and other Idaho authorities.
Ooh.
Yeah. The state has responded by listing page numbers and audio video file names and information and data provided to the defense in discovery. As of June 13th, 2023, counsel for Mr. Kohberger has not received any investigative reports and conclusions of analysis of this data conducted by police agencies. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following. Number 2, request 4, all footage provided to forensic examiners with FBI used to make and model to identify make and model a vehicle. All reports generated related to the identification of the white Elantra. All reports, communications, and documentation related to the change of year of the white Elantra sought. CV or credentials of forensic examiners. What the hell?
Interesting.
It is, isn't it?
They're asking for pretty much how they came to be to Brian so far.
Request 17, the state has responded that they are attempting to obtain this information. If it exists, the state will comply with its request upon receipt. As of June 14th, 2023, counsel for Mr. Kohberger has not received this information. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following. Hard drive provided to the defense. Request 23. The state responded that they have provided AV 000123 discovered on March 30th, 23. However, the provided recordings is an in-person interview with FBI agents rather than the phone interview done by Moscow police. The state has been informed that this phone interview was completed by S.A. Shirley, who confirmed this referenced phone interview was not recorded. Request 109, identity of the FBI special agent that is a member of the cellular analysis survey team that was consulted with to determine locations of the cell phone from 11/12 to 11/13 and all CAST certification records. Oh my God. And training records for the involved agents. Holy shit,
And they're
Mekci.
checking to see if they're experts now. If they're even qualified for that. Man, they're picking through everything.
Are they going to get all this, do you think?
Probably. They have to. Especially when it comes to court, like these guys that did like the CAST cellular analysis stuff, whoever did that, they need to get their credentials just to make sure that they're even certified to even have done the initial analysis to begin with. And then
But what about the training records of these guys?
Yeah, that too. That's what I'm saying. Like all of that stuff. So that they can make sure that they're able and qualified to be.
I've never heard of this before.
That's what they like when you go to like trials. Like, do you know like the first couple of questions that they ask like experts are just kind of like, why are they even asking these things? Because they're trying to make sure that they're actually qualified to even testify.
Well, they qualify them as experts. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about these training records. I find that really unusual. So let's see here. Request identity of the FBI special agent. The state objected to this request for the reason that is outside the scope of ICR 16 to the extent that the state intends to offer expert testimony. It will comply with ICR. Mr. Kohberger disagrees, as this information was largely relied upon in various warrants, including the arrest warrant information relied on. A secure search and arrest warrants is necessary to conduct analysis of Fourth Amendment issues. Further, the entirety of the information could include materials required under Brady, Idaho Criminal Rule 16, covers a broader area than the evidentiary rules of admissibility. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following. And not sure what all that means.
Yeah, it's just like a file number or something, like
right?
Identification code, but that was just provided yesterday.
Request 120 and 140. All tips received by law enforcement related to this case. They're going to say that they don't have enough time. They're going to bump the case up, and oh, here we go. So the state says they have provided various tips throughout discovery. However, they are scattered in pieces throughout discovery. A complete and chronological list of all tips has not been provided. Oh my God. The state has complied by providing all tips in its possession to defense. The state will continue to supplement this request as additional information is received. The tips have been provided in the same manner as provided to the state. A complete and chronological list of all tips does not exist. Request 136. All audio recordings related to all search warrants obtained in this matter. The state has responded that they are attempting to obtain this information. If it exists, the state will comply with this request upon receipt. The defense has been provided with a photograph of the DVD entered into evidence as item 435 and all of its labeling. There is also notation that has DVD was copied to the county on June 13th, 23. The state has complied with this request and has provided the following. Request 164, body cam, recordings, notes, photographs, and all information collected at the autopsy by Tolson, Vargas, and Gunnerson.
What? Body cam, recordings, notes, photographs, and all information collected at the autopsy? Okay.
The state responded that they do not have these items in its possession. Clarification is needed on it. They exist, and are they still in the possession of another agency? The state has been advised these items do not exist. As the state has indicated in its responses to prior discovery requests from the defense, the state has and will continue to provide discovery in accordance with ICR 16 and the applicable law. Dated the 11th of July.
Well, you better hope it doesn't exist. They better not just throw it out there in the court.
Yeah. I don't know. They're asking for everything but the kitchen sink.
Well, his defense team is asking for everything that pretty much led the cops to believe it's him. So
I think it's
that's
a stalling
important.
tactic. I just think they're stalling. I'm not sure why they're stalling, but I think they're stalling.
It's a big case. I mean,
It is. It is.
could be multiple reasons of why.
Yeah. Well, things are coming out slow and steady. So I'm pretty sure that eventually all this stuff is going to come together. I think with all this information, I mean, the defense is already saying, like, we can't keep up. We can't keep up. And then, just send us all this other stuff that's basically useless to us. And then we'll go through that too. And then we'll say, well, I need to look into, they're just going to drag this out. They're looking for one tiny little mistake to try and set him free.
Well, something. I mean, they got to do something. They are his defense team. But...
yeah. They're digging hard.
Yeah.
They're digging hard.
It's quite impressive, actually. I'm not going to lie. It's quite impressive. But
she's a good lawyer. She's a really good lawyer. And he's really fortunate to have her. I hope she plans on taking these types of cases on a regular basis. Maybe somebody who's not so public, where it looks like she's just trying to get her name out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see her actually take these cases that are not spread all over the world, where she's getting her. You know how I feel about that. I just think everybody deserves equal counsel.
Right.
I'm not cranky that she is his defense lawyer. I'm cranky that not everybody gets the same type of help from the legal system.
Yeah. Understand.
So what do you think of all that?
That's interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think they're just looking for everything that led to him. So,
yeah,
I wonder what they think they might find. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, this is October 2nd. I think it's going to be bumped in my mind. And then what do we have coming up? Okay, Brian Kohberger is back in court August 18th at 10:30 Pacific. And I think that is, we'll see what comes out between now and then. It does seem like that footage was not supposed to get out. It sounds like one person gave it to another, and then another one leaked it. And
I want to look into that this weekend and see what they're talking about early, but it's an interesting story.
It is. Well, friend, how about we call it?
For sure. It's getting late. I'm going to let the dog go out.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hopefully the world isn't as crazy tomorrow. Hopefully that freaking convict gets caught.
Both of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to wake up to a better day tomorrow. Better news.
Absolutely.
Better news.
Well, have a great sleep tonight.
Have a good night, guys.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
He picked the wrong family, and not scared of a conflict, and we're not scared. We're not running. We're coming at him.